Happy New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm Edgar Morales,
And I'm Brian Cortez.
and this is trade between Japan and Germany, our economic trade project.
Yes.
So, why did we choose these two countries in particular? So, we basically chose Germany and Japan because these two countries they trade cars, they trade vehicles, and they also partnered up in World War II, which is very interesting. You get me? So how far is Germany to Japan? The distance between these two countries, they're approximately 9,071 kilometers far from each other. That's also equivalent to 5,636 miles. Yeah,
Wow. That's far.
exactly.
Okay, so GDP, which stands for gross domestic product, is like so for the GDP for Germany, it's approximately 3.948 trillion US dollars. And for the Japan, the GDP is approximately 4.971 trillion dollars in US dollars. Of course, that's a lot.
Heck yeah.
Next slide, please. So, what does each country export to each other? So, both of these countries, they're both really good allies. Like they're both really like if you think of them, they're both like good friends to each other. So they export stuff to each other, and some stuff that they export to each other. For example, Germany receives exports from Japan like vehicles, machinery, nuclear reactors, optical photos, electrical equipment, chemicals, like all these stuff. You name it, spacecraft, aircraft, all that stuff. And Japan pretty much receives the same thing just as what Germany gets from Japan. So it's like a 50-50, you know?
Yeah, do. So, are there any government subsidies between Japan and Germany? So, there's no government subsidies between Germany and Japan whatsoever. The exports were healthy and successful. You already knows. The trade balance between these two countries. So basically, Germany's trade balance is $1.33 trillion in exports and $1.08 trillion in imports, according to in the year 2017. Japan's trade balance is $694 billion in exports and $632 billion in imports. Yes, this is all for 2017. In ranking, Germany is the second largest export economy in the world, while Japan is the fourth largest. So these are just some rich countries. So yeah,
Wow.
yes, yes.
So how much interdependence and independence? So Germany and Japan, they both rely on each other for certain products and transportations. Why? Because of course they like to export stuff and import stuff to each other. So while they both are interdependent, meaning that they both depend on each other, both countries still produce their own products and materials. So yeah, even though they might be getting the same things from each other, they're still like de- they're still dependent on themselves on certain things, like their own products and materials, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So some of the benefits and downfalls. So some of the benefits, both countries benefit each other with pharmaceuticals, medical appliances, vehicles, and food stuff. So that's some of the things that they help each other with. And they're mutual because they've helped each other in the past. Like, for example, in World War II, they've helped each other. They were allies. So that's how they help each other with, what they benefit each other with. But but what I've never heard of is, according to the internet, both countries never had a downfall. So as you see, the roller coaster right here represents the downfall. They never had any problems with each other.
Yee. All right.
That's good.
So, has there been any trade barriers between Germany and Japan? There has not been any trade barriers between Japan and Germany. The trade between both countries has always been healthy and successful. Healthy on a diet. You already knows it. So they are just really good friends. So has there been any trade wars between these countries? No, there has not been a trade war between Germany and Japan because they were buddy buddy in World War II. They were allies. And yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So has there been any free trade agreements? The answer is no. There has not
Oh,
been any free trade agreements between Germany and Japan.
yes.
Next slide.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Is that
so
you?
the future, and so in the future, so some of the bad things that so this is basically our opinion. This is nothing to do with the internet. Not this is our opinion. So what we think is that what could happen in the future is that if trade will break down between both countries, is because that's probably because there'll be like a war or terrorists would have raised for both of the countries, you know. But at the same time, in the future, they could succeed if they continue to trade with each other and import things.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
that's
Yes.
beauty. That's pure beauty right there. So what could be
That's like
done to make the trade fairer? Basically, both countries and they can lower tariffs. Okay, when trading with each other, that's a big it's important. It's important. All right. So and also both countries can trade with each other with the same quality of products. So it's not fair for Japan to trade with Germany with the iPhone that's just total wank. It's just not fair. So like they just so to avoid fights, just give the same quality of product and lower tariffs. Yeah. Yes, sir.
yeah.
So that is it for the presentation. Thank you, Mr. Lee, for not giving me extra credit for Sadie's. Class of 2020. Yes, we did it, bro. Say something, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. We're gonna miss you.
Yes, Mr. Lee. Thank you for everything. Love you, all my mates for
Love
2020.
you.
Yes, I love you guys.